Okay. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Arknights video. Today's video is going to be interesting because at this current moment in time, we're having a lot of issues with YouTube, at least for the channel, and uploading videos. So I have no idea what the heck is going on there. I've already mentioned on Discord, I will probably mention on YouTube in the near short future. Anyway, I guess there could be lots to mention, but I'll probably end up forgetting stuff, so there could be lots to talk about, but we'll see. We'll see. First of all, this event. As I mentioned before, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I and probably several others probably influenced all that happened. Essentially, at least when it came to this event, not just the fact of Phantom Altar, but of course Christine being playable. Honestly, Phantom Altar is kind of just like a cherry on top type of deal. At least for me, it's like cool. I was more or less expecting more around like the original play story, more so than what Arknights was doing. Regardless, you could make the argument, you can go back into the past surveys, that I was the influence of them going back to past integrated strategies, which is funny enough, a lot of people take note of that to make a point with Arknights Infield and player feedback. So, that's not a guarantee, but I mean, it's not a bad point. But again, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but you can go back and watch those past surveys, and you understand what I'm saying. Because a lot of the stuff that I've mentioned has, in some way, shape, or form, eventually happens. Granted, not everything. There are certain things I'm still hoping for that they seem to be reluctant to do. Like, sure, I get Christine / another event around Phantom to happen, with them redoing IS-2, which I technically did IS-3 first, but it is what it is. They eventually did IS-2. Skins for certain characters, but stuff like Credit Store, and then changing some things with Credit Store, and adding more operators to be obtainable through Credit Store. Now, I did take some time to, like, reflect about the Credit Store when I notice or think about the idea that I think their thought process with Credit Store is pretty much for new players. I don't think that really should necessarily be the case. Like, they could add more stuff to it so that later on you could do more with it. How that could happen, I don't know. But I feel like if that is the case of why they're not adding more Credit Store operators, I'm referencing to Durnar, Gavial, and Courier. Those three are the only 3 Credit Store operators. And it's been like that for over 6+ years now. At least for CN, it's been 6+ years. For EN, it's been over 5.5 years. Yes. Because fun fact, those characters were released with this Credit Store, or at least Durnar was. I can't exactly remember now. I think it was Durnar and Gavial and Courier were already introduced with the Credit Store, if I remember correctly. So essentially, think of the Credit Store as the shop voucher characters, the Reg Cert certificates. pretty much they release every so often. Think of what that's, but in the very beginning of the game's launch for Credit Store. But they decided to just focus on that differently, which to me, I think I understand why they did it. Money, obviously. But, that's like the only thing I could really think of, because at the end of the day, the only thing really keeping you from getting those operators, aside from most of them probably not being worthwhile for a lot of people, is the fact that you have to farm the shop certificates, which means stamina, which means money. So, take that as you will. Anyway, I know I just ranted about this, the Credit Store shop, but I think it's an important note that whatever I may suggest doesn't always come through, or it may, I don't know. Personally, there's a lot of things that I wish that they could do or would do, but at this point, I have little faith they will do it. Since I've been doing it for at least over almost, I would say, a year or two, since I've been talking about adding more to the Credit Store. So, regardless, let's actually kind of get into Arknight specifically, so I don't just continue ranting about what they could possibly do. And in terms of infield, we'll see what happens. I know there's been more and more info popping up. As I've always said, when it comes to infield, I will talk about what I see. And it's not my final opinion until the game launches. Or I should say, it's not my opinion until I get the chance to play it. And I guess for some people, when it launches, officially launches, and if I don't get in the beta test, I won't worry about it. That's just how it is. That's why when it came to the live stream, the fact that I was so surprised that there was a weapon banner. Yeah, so I really don't look into what the hell happens in each and every one specifically, only bits and pieces that people might talk about or I might briefly see. For example, the weapon banner I didn't know existed because no one really talked about it, personally. No one really made too much of an important note about it for it to really be something that I end up seeing randomly. Because I don't really look into Arknight's infield. So, if I don't get into it, the beta test too, I won't give a shit about infield. Until I get the chance to play it. Outfits! I'm gonna have a lot of people hate me, but I think the Astalon skin is not great at all. I don't really like it. I could be way worse, honestly, especially with how other people have reacted to my thought process and opinions to certain things. And some people are gonna try to mention that it's something related to Monster Hunter. The whole drama with the skin because of the whole Monster Hunter business. I do know about that, but that's not the reason. I just don't like the skin. It's just what it is. Maybe I could say the same thing for Highmore. I won't be getting the skin because I don't really use Highmore. The only reason I ever built is literally because of IS-3 existence. And the fact that this is her second skin, my bad. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe this is her second skin. We'll know. You don't have to mention it in the comments. And then, of course, Lucilla. I've actually been using a lot more Lucilla. Not actually fully, but I do use her compared to most operators. Just due to the fact that in the latest events, her S2 had some use case. Actual, genuine use case. If I was able to set it up correctly. Especially because a lot of the harder enemies, especially the faster ones, you could slow down with Lucilla. I'm not talking about the Vector Breakthrough. I'm not talking about that event. I'm sorry. I have touched that event. I am literally at the last 3 stages. I guess I could show a little bit of that before we get into the Headhunting session. But I'll be first things first, after kind of just briefly talking about stuff, I will be grabbing Lucilla's skin. Out of all of them, that's what I'm going to end up doing. Okay. First things first. Skins. I'm gonna have to look into it, but I think this is our second skin. It's not a bad skin. I personally don't think this does it justice. I'm sorry. This does not do Highmore skins justice. But Aslan, I don't like the skin. I don't. Maybe if I actually saw the animations, maybe. But then again, there's other characters like Inna skins. I've not actually gotten the other two Inna skins because I just don't think they're really that great to me anyway. I didn't really like them as much as I actually prefer her normal skin still. But I am grabbing Lucia's skin. I actually do use her a lot more than the other two here, ironically enough. I probably should use other characters like Lutanada more, but I won't. I probably should get fuckboys, but probably not. I'm gonna have to look at the animations, and I might debate with Highmore. But grabbing skin. Close of Sila Warren were looking around an exhibit about extinct marine species. The eye is led down the outfit by the changes in color mimicking seawater at different depths, punctured by unique patterns to form a calm, tranquil symbol. About Vector Breakthrough, while we're at it here. So I have touched Vector Breakthrough. I, at first, was not really going to touch it all that much. No, this is not going to be a video over a breakthrough completely. I'm just going to briefly kind of talk about it here. But the general gist was I wasn't planning on doing it, but I decided, fuck, why not? I'll just see. Like, I could get through it. It's just because I did most of Rosmontis' version with 4 stars and 5 stars until the end. So, like, my goal was kind of like, I was going to also make this, I was going to do a post, YouTube post, but no, I was having issues at that point with YouTube. I'm still kind of having issues with YouTube, so aside from that, I did go through all of these, pretty much whoever the fuck I wanted to. So I'm going to kind of quickly go through here. Which also means I have not actually changed any of these characters still from when I first did them. And, I won't change it. So in a way, I kind of like the idea of, like, having a mixed set of characters that I could possibly use not being used, but then again, there's some characters that I probably would have used anyway. Aside from, like, maybe the Crushers, I probably could have used if it wasn't for the fact that I have 4 and 5 star Crushers, and I don't think they were necessary, personally. I did redo some of the stages, but it does showcase in the achievements on, like, the clear of, like, I don't know if it's the last clear, I don't know how it exactly does it, but this is so far the results. I will continue going to it, but this was my clear of 12. Remember, I did not touch this event until after I was done with the Masses Travels event. Like, the Masses Travels actually just being done completely. So there was only like 10-ish, 12-ish days. I did not realize that there was trim medals tied to how fast to complete the event. I think that is still, I'm mixed. I'm mixed. Because I want to say it's stupid, because it's the old CC, but I liked it during the CC because it at least was possible or easy to do. It was the only thing available to do. You had the hardest event in a hot minute, at least for me. And then you have this event coming out of fucking nowhere. And then expecting me to complete this specific stages when I'm mostly focusing on the hardest event in a hot minute. Kind of see why I'm a little tilted. I'm annoyed. I thought that was really fucking stupid. So, I probably would have done it if I completely ignored Master's Travels. If I actually just decided to actually do it when the event first came out, that did not happen. So, you know, I will touch this event some more. I did finish A yesterday, with the only 6-star I used was the hot vampire lady. Glogos is like the odd example, because I kept changing and adding characters each time I failed. But it was getting to the point of the stage where the only threat was the robots, and that's it. Now, I'm not talking about Mechanics and his robot. I'm not talking about those two dorks. I'm talking about the fast running, if you hit them, they go into range mode robots. Because of how fast they were, and the fact of Mechanics just continuously -1 block, it got to the point where I didn't have enough DPS to really do shit against those things. Because based off the front, it's very easy for the enemies and or bosses to be like really extremely difficult. Granted, I probably could do like the lesser version because I did look at after the fact, and there's like different restriction, like different buffs, which I don't think were really a necessity to go for. Can you not? OBS, thank you. Anyway, for today, tomorrow we'll see. I won't be exactly able to get to the stage event stages today. In terms of the use case, I mean, I don't have to explain much about Tragodia. Like, this bro was so broken that he was like a must-get when he was pretty much, like, people were talking about him. 6+ months ago. Now, I will try to build the other two. I don't know how they're gonna be. But Tragodia, bro, is broken as hell. He is just straight up broken. Nothing much else to say. Dithyramb, Unending. I woke up from a nightmare, yet still I'm in the night. Okay. No idea how the beta session's gonna go, personally. People have been all over the place from what I've been hearing. I've been hearing about people getting it really early on, randomly. Some people I've been hearing talking about going to 300 pulls. Anyway, I'm not sure how this is gonna go. 5-star, makes sense. But I do have a lot of pulls saved up. Also, supposedly, more characters get Ian voices still. So I am kind of curious to see what they've done. I've seen that Mountain has got an Ian voice, so I might check that out in the near future. Because I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with voice for him. Is he gonna be like a Southern Louisiana touch to him, or a Texas touch? I'm thinking like Mountain as like some Southerner or like Southern States character in terms of like if you had to compare it to like the United States, because he's from Colombia, which is pretty much the America of Archetypes. Okay, 5-star.
Hey, Doctor, you already know me. Do we really still have to...
Okay. I don't really have her much potted, so fair enough. And I do also have this month's polls I can grab. Another 5-star. I'm gonna say this right now. Tippy might be harder to get. That is just my luck. That's my luck when it comes to 5-star versus 6 stars.
Reserve up team A6 catapult reporting in. Hey.
And it's honestly back and forth. There are times where the 6-star is instantly gotten, and it takes like 50 plus pulls to get the 5-star. Sometimes I may never get the 5-star. Trust me. A couple months ago, that was the case. That's why I have Ablana.
Show me your brightest smile, my
instead of the lizard girl.
Happiness is at
Hi, I'm Spot from Operation Reserve Teammates.
I don't think Ablana is not that bad of an operator. It's just there's so much strength nowadays that like she's good, but not like the best, which I think is kind of ironic. Okay, 5 stars ever since.
Live long and prosper. Tippy Skywalker Booker, reporting for duty. Who? Doctor? Oh, Skyriff Walker's the code name I thought up for myself. That's not how you do codenames here.
Skyriff Walker. Okay. So she eventually changed herself to Tippy. Okay.
My name is Plume, formerly of the Pontifica.
Cool. Now we just have to get the 6-star, and we are good. Again, like I said, it's back and forth. There are times where it's more likely for me to get the 6-star than the 5-star, and trust me, trying to get Lapland for the first time, I'm not talking about the Lapland altar, I'm talking about Lapland when the game first, or around like the first months of the game's launch. I had over like, I went over 300 plus pulls trying to go for Lapland, which when she was like a 5-star rated character. I don't believe it was this specifically. I could be wrong. It's been so long and I wasn't really recording or live streaming the Headhunting. It's like a really fucking long time ago, by like 2020. So, just from my own experience with like Lapland, yeah. No, I think that's a bit of an over-exaggeration because I don't remember how much I pulled. Because again, it's been a fucking long time. Give or take, it probably was more close to like 100 to 200 pulls than close to 300. But anyway, now we're getting into the arena. I could go into tickets, get more tickets. I'm trying to think if there's anything else too noteworthy that I would want to go for. I will be skipping the collab completely. Maybe. That's still me debating, but for the most part, I wouldn't go crazy if I skip it. There's a lot of people that talk about not doing that. To me, it is what it is. Like, if I skip it, I skip it. Anyway, 2 5-stars. I skipped the Dungeon Mushy collab.
Show me your
so,
brightest smile, my esteemed customer.
like, the only thing that would technically you would think would I played the events, but in reality it's because the enemies from the events, at least the flower monster, has been in other stages, in other places. Like IS-5 and in the Vector event.
Hello there, Doctor.
Coruscant?
Industries Liaison Karas.
はじめましてドクター新人オペレーターのはじめましてドクター
A lot of Colombian operators there.
Nice to meet you. I'm from Acre, and my name is... Why are you staring at the bottle?
Okay. Aside from Lucila, we're just... I'm noticing we're just getting the crap ton of Colombian operators.
I'm Nolenta.
はじめまして、ドクター君。私はアイス探偵のメイと申すのだ。
Yeah, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would have been interesting to get like another Tippy there, but no, I mean cool. We get another Lucila. I don't believe I have maxed her out either for pots, but I could be wrong. Continuing on. Good shit. That was 50th pull. So we got a little bit ahead of the schedule of going for 60. Which I'll take it. That's really good to see. Decent 5-star luck. I'm sorry. Luju. Oh, fuck, I can't even remember the content creator's name now. Is the reason why I do that. Lu Bu Xing Feng or something like that? I can't fucking remember his name now. Channel. He pretty much did like a lot of Fire Emblem. And he did like a lot of Fire Emblem after he stopped playing Arknights. When the game first launched. He stopped before CC0, if I remember correctly. Or it was like the first CC beta. It's like a long time ago. But I don't know what he's doing now. I think he might be doing like the Fire Emblem Tactics. The new mobile game from Fire Emblem. Anyway. I haven't really checked in to see.
Hello, Doctor. I'm Totter. Long range.
Okay, 6-star services.
Permit me to shirk our operator's curious gazes for a spell. The curtain has finally fallen on the longest play, and I need some time to reorganize my thoughts. I'm sure you understand, Doctor. Pardon? I have to sign the returnee ledger with my Rankwood autograph.
Okay. I'm curious to see what happens in the story. I may actually genuinely read the story. Like, that's just how kind of interested I am. But I might end up getting spoiled if it has any ties before episode 15. So we'll see, but good shit. I would say this is a pretty good banner summon session. Really. I had to go only 50 pulls in, and I can just save from here on out. I should probably focus on trying to get more free pulls.